Okay, this is the review 4-2 for math models. Um, the instructions state for each table determine if it is linear, exponential, or quadratic, and write a corresponding rule. Basically, what we mean by rule is write the corresponding equation. All right, so real fast, let me write them up here. Remember that if it's linear, it's y equals mx plus b, where m is my change in y divided by change in x. That's your m. And your b is your start. Okay? You have your exponential equation. Y equals ab to the x. That's your exponential. And a, in this case, is your start. And b, stay consistent, and b is your ratio. Where basically you take 1 and divide it by the previous one. So like in number 1, you do -7 divided by 4, -10 divided by 7, -13 divided by 10. You wouldn't be subtracting, you'd be dividing. All right. And last but not least, you've got your quadratic. Your quadratic is your y equals ax squared. That's not a 2, that's a little squiggle. Ax squared plus bx plus c, where a equals your second difference divided by 2. Okay. B equals the very first difference minus A, and C is your start. So if x is 0, what is y? Okay, so that's basically the rules for each of the different types. So let's just start finding them. Number 1, let's just start with our differences. -7 minus 4, that's -3. -10 minus 7, that's also -3. -13 minus 10, that's also -3. This is also -3. Okay, so our first difference is the same. Since every last one of those is the same, this one is linear. Okay, and for your slope, it's your change in y over change in x. So y is changing by -3. X is changing by 1. So -3 divided by 1 is... So m will equal -3. B is your starting point. Well, that's -4. That's where x is 0. So y equals -3x minus 4. That's simple. All right, number 2, same idea. Let's do 6 minus 3, that's 3. 12 minus 3, that's 6. 24 minus 12, that's 12. And 48 minus 24, that's 24. Let's try. So the first difference isn't the same, so that's not linear. 6 minus 3 is 3. 12 minus 6 is 6. And it's already shaping up. The second difference isn't the same either. So this is not quadratic. Therefore, it's probably exponential, but let's try it. So by subtracting, nothing works. So let's try dividing. So you literally do 6 divided by 3, and you get 2. 12 divided by 6, and you get 2. 24 divided by 12, you get 2. 48 divided by 24, you get 2. Alright, so since they're all multiplied by 2, then 2 is your ratio. Alright? So in this case, remember A is your starting point. So when x is 0, y is 3. B is your ratio, since they're all the ratio is 2, so B is 2. So y equals 3 times 2 to the x. And remember, you cannot multiply these two numbers together. Remember, your PEMDAS is king. You have to take care of your exponent before you can multiply these together. And since I can't take care of that x, I cannot multiply the 2 and the 3. Leave them separate. Don't fall into that trap. All right, number 3, same idea. Let's just start up with differences. 2 minus 1 is 1. -1 minus 2 is -2. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3, actually. I'm sorry. Negative 8 minus negative 1, that's negative 7. Negative 19 minus 8 is negative... I'm going to get my calculator out. I don't feel like messing this up. On negative 19 minus negative 8 equals negative 11. Alright, so that's our first difference. Obviously it's not linear. So let's do the second one. Negative 3 minus 1 equals negative 4. Negative 7 minus negative 4 is negative 7 minus negative 4 equals... What am I doing? Equals negative... also equals negative 4. And negative 11 minus negative 7 is also negative 4. Okay, so our second difference is the same. This one is the same. Therefore, this is quadratic. We can say it's quadratic. Q-U-A-D-R-A-T-I-C. So we got to find our A, B, and C. If you recall, A is your first difference. Your second difference divided by 2. So take your second difference, divide it by 2. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. Therefore, A equals negative 2. Right? B is your very first difference minus A. So in this case, your very first difference is 1. Remember, that's the difference between your starting point and the very first point. So our very first difference is 1. 1 minus A. So 1 minus that negative 2 gives me negative 1. So in this case, B equals negative 1. Because 1 minus negative 2, I'm sorry, that's not right. 1 minus negative 2 is 1 plus 2. 1 equals 3. 1 minus negative 2 is 3. Yes. And last but not least, C is your starting point. And when x is 0, y is 1. So for this one, y equals negative 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. That is your quadratic equation for number 3. Okay? This is pretty much the rules for all of these. Go ahead and, if you want to, try 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Try the rest of the ones on this section. And then watch the videos and see how you do. Okay?